We begin with the 28 pages of self-reflection of Lee County's response to Hurricane Ian. In this After Ian Action Report released today, it's mostly a glowing review of Lee County, despite the criticism that the county faced. There are also some concessions in this report and recommendations on how to better serve you for the next storm. Tonight, we have team coverage from better staffing at shelters to better cell phone coverage within the EOC and better messaging when it comes to evacuations. The county says Ian has provided some tough lessons to learn.
Lee County putting out this 28-page After Action Ian report with the intent to, quote, memorialize lessons learned, identify best practices, and support the county's readiness for future hurricanes. As it shows, the Cat 5 storm damaged nearly 25,000 homes, 5,000 businesses, and left more than $112 billion worth of damages in its wake. The county breaking down 14 observations, and one that came with criticism was the call to evacuate, despite the fact observation number 2 reads the timing of the evacuation aligned with the county's plans. However, Fox 4 did a 7-month-long investigation in June that unveiled then County Manager Roger DeJarlais did not follow the county's plans.
And it seems like it's a pretty simple chart. It says once we get the storm surge at 40%, 4 feet or higher, we call Zone A. By Sunday night at 11, we had more than 40%. So what's the point of having a plan if it's laid out in black and white, but then we don't adhere to it?
All of those studies that you see and charts that you see calling for evacuation times, that's a place to start.
But tonight, a concession. The county's report says they need to do better here.
We desperately wish that there had been no fatalities, and we will, of course, tweak our messaging.
The report recommending the county work with local media to continue to emphasize how important it is to prepare for a storm and that it communicate the timing and other thresholds that would result in an investigation. Other improvements like Observation 3, better coordinate how many alerts you get on your phone as many repeated themselves, or Observation 4, adding more resources for cell phone and internet coverage as many making decisions in the EOC lost cell service during the storm. And observation number 10, the county moving all of the government emergency vehicles inland ahead of Ian. But when all of the bridges were washed out, it proved difficult to get those life-saving measures back on the barrier islands.
We want to go ahead and bring in Fox 4's Bella Lyons, specifically talking about observation number 9, the shelters. We had previously heard in our reporting from Commissioner Kevin Ruane, and he said that there was a lack of coordination with the shelters between several agencies to get them up and ready in time. So what did you see in this report in regards to shelters?
Nadine, the county opened 11 shelters the day before the storm, less than 24 hours before we felt the impacts. And tonight, the report shows that didn't give enough time for staff to make it to their posts at the shelters on time, and the staff who were at their posts needed better training. When it comes to getting the shelters opened and ready in time for Hurricane Ian, Fox 4 has heard 2 conflicting statements from Lee County leaders. First, from former county manager Roger DeJarlais.
The decision to open shelters was made on time and properly.
And then this from County Commissioner Kevin Ruane.
In a perfect world, you could look at this, but when you're working through inter-government agencies, the coordination, and if we could do anything better, it's the coordination.
Tonight, more clear answers laid out in the county's After Action Ian report, outlining first shelter staff was unable to make it to their posted sites on time due to the lack of communication and simply lack of time. The report also observing those tasked with staffing the shelters needed better training. It's something shelter advocate Crystal Johnson can weigh in on.
Everything was horrible for Ian.
Helping train and prepare for hurricanes and disasters just like Ian, and feels the lack of urgency from the county leaders led to a lack of preparedness for Southwest Floridians seeking shelter.
We should be leading the state in preparedness.
According to the After Action report, the county successfully opened enough shelters to accommodate 34,000 people, and only 6,000 seek those services.
From my understanding, things were just like they were on top of each other, like right next to each other. There was no way to have any real comfort or space there.
And just like the county is looking at how they can do better ahead of the next storm, Johnson has suggestions of her own.
We've had a few storms come through Lee County and there's nothing in place. We don't have a real shelter. You understand? They always have to shut down something and try to make do for people, and they're just not prepared.
Report suggests a third-party vendor to facilitate shelter coordination and communication between all parties. But tomorrow, the Board of Commissioners will meet to discuss these suggestions. Reporting in studio, Bella Line, Fox 4.